Hi guys, my name is Rauno. I'm 26 years old, professional poker player, trying to make it big.
Make $1 million within a year by playing poker and investing our profit in cryptocurrencies.
Our journey starts here at Unibet Open London.
I think I'm currently in a very good place in a sense that I found a couple of guys that I'm living with who pretty much want the same things out of life as I do. So we have this nice sort of synergistic cohabitation arrangement where we just like pretty much live and breathe poker. We can bounce poker related ideas off of one another. We can divide up our workloads. And all of that basically means that we can just, reach our goals in a more effective way. And we can complement one another by living together in this way and studying together and doing all those things. The goal for 2018 is going to be spend the year and devote pretty much all of my energy and all of the collective energy that we have available to us in our apartment, living together with Espen and Ben, to this very lofty goal of making $1 million. I think we have actually a pretty high failure rate with this goal. I mean, we gotta be honest, being poker players and also crypto enthusiasts, we basically depend on achieving this goal on two disciplines that are both subject to an enormous amount of variance. So obviously we have to be aware of the fact that it's to an extent beyond our control to achieve this goal. But I think with lofty goals like this, it's not really about the end result. Like, to me, the most important thing isn't whether we actually make the million or not, even though, making $1 million would be pretty damn cool. It's more about the journey. And I think a nice thing with lofty goals, like, we could have always set a goal of making 300K in 2018, which probably would be a goal that we would reach quite easily. But we decided to opt for $1 million. And I think a big perk for opting for $1 million is that it sort of forces us to think outside of the box of our previous self-imposed limitations, right? Because if you start arranging your life around the goal of making 100K, then you're only gonna think so far as to how to make 100K, but you never sort of push yourself beyond that threshold and force upon yourself new challenges that sort of allow yourself and your operation, both in poker and crypto, to operate at the sort of scale that allows you to actually make more money. So I think setting goals is very important from the perspective of actually having the right frame for your thought process and approach to life in general. I think perhaps the most challenging thing about the 1 year, 1 million project for me is not even the arduous poker grind that we're inevitably going to face, or the long hours of study we're going to have to put in, but the fact that I have to reveal all of those personal details as I share this story with you guys. I'm naturally a pretty private person, but one of my principles that I try to adhere to in life stems from the idea of human beings being anti-fragile. One of my favorite authors, Nassim Taleb, the author of The Black Swan, perhaps his most well-known book, has a book called Anti-Fragile. And the key idea of the book is basically that there are many things, or perhaps most things in the world are fragile. Like example, plates. If you drop them on the ground, then they break. But human beings have this unique property of being anti-fragile, which means that in most scenarios, when you expose human beings to harm or negativity or get them do things that they don't like doing, they actually become stronger in the process and better at doing those things. And I think that pretty much all meaningful personal development takes place outside of the comfort zone. So for me, this project is a direct attempt to challenge this part of myself that doesn't want to share the private details about my life, to be more open with the world and sort of more able to share those things would allow me to help connect with people on a more meaningful and intimate level. In terms of what I'd like to do outside of poker, I've been an avid reader from a very young age. So yeah, definitely reading is something that I do a lot. Other than reading, I think a defining sort of characteristic of my identity, something that I've been very active in for many years has been competitive debating, which I quit a year ago. I mean, I probably haven't quit it yet. Like, I'm not promising I'm never going to attend another debate tournament, but at least I competed in my last final tournament, which was the European Universities Debating Championships, where I made the finals in the European English as a second language category, which is like a really nice way to go out on. I mean, with a bang, definitely. It was a pretty big achievement. Estonia hasn't made the finals in a while, and the event was held in Tallinn this year, which is huge. You get to perform well in front of your own crowd, which is like probably one of the highlights of my life. An amazing feeling to speak in front of a lot of people in a concert hall. So yeah, definitely. I mean, debating, like public speaking, in general, has been something that I've been active in for a while now, and something that has impacted my life in an immensely positive way, both in terms of being better at rhetoric and expressing my ideas, but also in terms of debating, showing me that knowledge is valuable, as it sort of puts you into this highly competitive setting where you can weaponize knowledge and use it to sort of beat down other kids, and sort of be cool in that setting. So it's really like the perfect thing for nerds, right? Like, if you weren't cool before that in high school, when you joined the debating circle and you were smart, knew a lot of facts, could express yourself well, reason well, you were suddenly one of the cool kids in that circle. So definitely did wonders for my self-esteem. Even though it's mostly about the journey of the project for me, if we were to do well and I'd actually make my share of the million we make, I wouldn't really buy many things. I think I'm not a very materialist person. I'm not really about the baller life or the fancy cars. Well, perhaps to an extent I am. I definitely believe in investing in experiences. I think I would perhaps take some fancy trips, maybe eat some really good food, have, splurge a bit in one of those best in the world restaurants that have exorbitant prices, do stuff like that. But I don't think I would buy a car. I don't own a car currently. I probably wouldn't buy a condo. If I would, I'd probably rent it out. The main thing that I would like to do with the money, well, there are basically two things. In the short term, the main thing I wanted to do is to be able to provide for my family, as my mom and dad are approaching the age where they would like to retire and not work that much anymore. And they have done so much for me, so I definitely want to be in the financial position to provide for them as well in their old age. I also put my little sister through college so that my parents don't have to worry about her expenses, and support her in any maybe business endeavors that she wants to embark on. Aside from that, definitely securing financial freedom for myself as well is a huge thing. I think life is way too short generally to be spending most of your time doing stuff you hate. So I want to continue this lifestyle where I mainly just pursue what I'm intellectually curious about, and definitely having passive income from having saved up money, and just being able to play poker and make money even if it's not passive income is something that's definitely going to be huge in that regard.